Chinese EV maker Zeekr has got a miracle new battery, but is it all it's lived up to be? Is it going to meet the hype? Is it going to be a joke? Or what are we even talking about? I got to tell you, spoiler alert, it might be the real deal. I'm Brian. Welcome to Future Oza. Got my buddy Herbert here with me, as I do every Thursday and Friday morning. And join us on our Wednesday live stream at noon Pacific. No, 11 Pacific, 11 a.m. Pacific. Now, one thing Herbert does on his channel that is really amazing is he gets the best experts from across a variety of fields. He talks people with China expertise. He talks to actual astronauts, people with decades of experience in stock and investment. It is a real great balance of really great people. And that's why I like having you on, is because
I like to have you on every Wednesday because you're really great people. The two shows you just did for me, this and we're going to drop in a couple of days here, is banger. You're just full of great information. Thank you.
I would say that Herbert's perhaps greatest skill is knowing what his experts know the most about and getting the most out of them, which is amazing because that is on its own a skill. So what we've got here is Chinese EV maker Zeekr says this new battery can charge faster than that of a Tesla. Well, first of all, faster than that of a Tesla. Does that surprise you?
Wow. What do you mean, does it surprise me? No, it doesn't surprise me. I think, batteries, there's always going to be leapfrogging. There's always going to be jumps. When you only make a small number of cars, it's easier for you to, implement these things. When you make a lot of cars, and you've got to be a lot more productive. And then Tesla, of course, is doing their 4680 battery, which just became something they're going to go at scale. Let's talk again in the next 6 months, and we'll see where we're at.
Absolutely. I agree on all points. It's not like we're saying they can charge 0 to 100 in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That I would pause and say, really? Because I can tell you how to fake that. You just put in a much larger battery and you put in 120 and cap it at 100 or 90. And then you can charge all the way to 100 because it's actually 80%. But that doesn't appear to be what they're doing. In just 10.5 minutes, it can go from 10 to 80, which is great. Where the Model 3 can do 15 minutes to get half of its stated charge. I don't know if I quite...
That's not my experience.
That's not my experience.
To see what the actual number is, if that's true. Because for me, I feel like I can get from 10 to 80% in 15 minutes. I think Elon has explained quite clearly that when you're at the low level percentage, it's pretty fast to get to 80%. But from the 80% to 100%, that's almost as long as it takes for the 10 to 80%, because the way he described it was, think of a parking spot and all the electrons need to find a parking spot. They enter the parking lot and there's empty. So it's easy for them very fast to find a place to sit. But once you get to the, nearly full, you come in, you got to go all around looking for the empty parking spot that I can park in. That's what's happening. So it takes a lot longer. But yeah, so go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say the other analogy he did was when you're pouring a glass of water, you can pour the first half real quick because as it sloshes around, it's not going to spill. But as it gets fuller and fuller, you got to slow down or it's going to be all over the table. Yeah.
So is this a big deal? It would be a very big deal if, one, you are selling millions and millions of these cars, and two, you have thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of superchargers stations everywhere. Then you could take advantage of this increase in speed. But that's the problem with Zeekr. It's great. They have a great battery. It's a leapfrog technology. It's a big deal. And we're going to continue to see batteries improve. That's one of the beautiful thing about this technology is we're just at the beginning, and all of these improvements will happen. They'll leapfrog, and then all the companies will catch up, and then they'll leapfrog and move forward. So I don't think this is going to make a big deal in terms of sales or market share necessarily.
I agree with that entirely. It's the same thing with horsepower. there's a minimum that you need for a car to be viable. I'd say probably about 130, 140 horsepower is plenty for nearly everyone. And the difference between 300 horsepower and 320 horsepower is not going to necessarily make or break your product unless you're targeting something very specific. So we're looking at, but is this even real? Well, Zeekr said its 2025 James Bond sedan, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, is set to begin deliveries next week. It'll be the first model to use the new batteries. It's is real. Because as you know, you and I love to mock the miracle breakthrough battery of the century. It's going to be 5 times faster with 5 times the capacity with 1/5 the cost, and it can do absolutely everything except leave the lab. Well, this is going out in vehicles now. So this offering aims to address consumers' longstanding worries about driving range and ease of charging. There's a lot of people in China who do not have access to charging at home. For them, this could be great. You can look at where your customers are and, get them what they need.
Brian, I was going to ask you, so here's Zeekr. Zeekr is a very luxury vehicle. It competes directly with the Model Y in China. They only sell that in China. And but obviously the Model Y is still killing it. They're the #1 sales vehicle in China at that level. Zeekr is also as expensive. Why are this company comparing, or this article comparing it to the Model 3 battery charging, which is lower model, different batteries? Tell me more about what you expect the Model Y charging situation be.
So I think the more direct comparison would be the Model S, but they just don't sell very many in China. The Model S has that long range. Yeah. The Model S has the longer range. Its 10 to 80% charge is a much more comparable number of miles. I don't know what the price is on these, but I imagine they're higher end. I think this is more about the reporters covering the difference than, because the Model 3 and Y headlines sell better than Model S headlines, I guess. And the greater disparity you can draw between the vehicles is going to, because if this is a actual luxury car and you're comparing it to a Model 3 long range, that is a bit of a strange comparison. That'd be. Are you saying that your car is only as luxurious as a Model 3? That'd be a weird way to push your business, I suppose. Now, interestingly, this is. Do you know who owns them?
Zeekr?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Oh, is it
the
Geely as well?
owned electric car company.
I did not realize that.
I also did not realize that.
Geely is a Chinese-owned company that bought Polestar. They've owned Polestar. They own Volvo, and then now I realize they own Zeekr. I always thought Zeekr was its own brand because it's such a.
I thought it did too. But they are. So you own 3 companies that are all premium. Okay. Well, on the plus side, we can see where the expertise in batteries is coming from, because if you've got that many brands, you can use the technology across that many more vehicles. But interesting, I suppose. Let's see here. So guys, in the comments, this one's a little short, but it's a short topic and I'm not going to waste your time. What did we miss? What did we misunderstand? All that good stuff. Leave it in them comments below. As Herbert knows, I like to get out and about somewhat. Next month, I'm going to be in Ocala, Florida for the Cyberfest. In October, I'm going to be in Vegas for the Owners Club Light Show there on the 26th, I think. Yes. And then who knows, I might even be in Malaysia in February, to be determined. I'm trying to figure out the funding on that one because that is a little bit farther than I typically go. So guys, in the comments, let us know, and do me a favor and head on over to Brighter, see what he's been up to. He's had some great stuff out this week, and there are deeper dives on Zeekr even, one including me. So what did we miss? You know what you're doing. Stay tuned and juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.